Hi everybody, Steve Bergen here, and we're looking at my iPad, and we've got more skills to cover. First of all, notice that there are 6 things in the dock at the bottom, so that you know where I'm pointing. I'm going to take videos and click and drag it out. You can put things into or out of your dock, and I urge you to have settings right over here in your dock. I urge you to have camera in your dock. Settings is the brain of your iPad, and camera is the picture memory for all sorts of projects of your iPad. Those are very, very important. Now, when you press the home button or the belly button, all the wobbling stops. When you click and hold on any of the icons, the wobbling starts again. When the wobbling starts, it's the iPad's way of saying you can move these things around. So I could take Quizlet and pick it up and move it to the screen in the right. It's a little tricky, you have to hold it, and I can put it over there. I can go back to the screen on the left, and I can take Tiny Tap and move it over. So you got to get organized with your iPad. There'll be times when you want to put things in alphabetical order, and there'll be times when you want to put things in logical order. So if I want to put things in alphabetical order, there's Cut the Rope and Dropbox and Explain Everything and Boston.com, and you see how I'm arranging. But let's say I want to group things by folders. If I pick up Tiny Tap and I drop it on top of Quizlet, the iPad says, oh, you, Steve, want to make a folder. So now I'm going to come over and I'm going to call this Quiz Programs. And I'm giving a name to the folder, and it may have its own logic of what it wants for its names, but I'm going to overrule it. Quiz Programs. You can have a whole number of applications in your folder. I'm in Spanish mode, sorry about that. When you press the home button or the belly button, it goes back to normal. You may have to double tap it. So now that what I see here is I have a folder called Quiz Programs. Maybe I want to put Explain Everything in that folder as well. I click and hold and I drag it in there. So making folders is as simple as getting into this wobbly mode, clicking on one, dropping it on the other. The iPad will propose a folder, productivity, and I'm going to change that to something else that I think is more appropriate. Your folders get created, and your folders now have 5 applications in them. You can rearrange positions, you can rearrange the various screens. To go back to video 1, if I click on Settings, it was under General that I found this switch for lock rotation. The side switch, and you can see right there where I'm moving back and forth, the side switch can be set to either lock rotation or to mute the sound. You can do one or the other as the function of the side switch. I prefer it to lock the rotation. Belly button or home button takes you over there. You can have 6 things on the bottom, so settings doesn't have to be here. Now you have 4. Settings is important, it should be on the bottom. Now you have 5. Click the belly button or the home button and you're back to normal. The thing on the bottom is called the multitask bar. If you double click the home button, you give exposure to the multitask bar and the dock has been transformed. When you have the multitask bar on the bottom, you see lots of apps, and those are your open apps, and then you also see volume controls. Let's go through that again. I'm going to click the home button or belly button. I'm going to double click it, click, click, revealing on the bottom the multitask bar. If I swipe to one side, the multitask bar gives me access to the speaker, playing music. The thing that's blue in the middle lets you connect to the projector in the front of the room. And the things on the right are all the apps that have been left open. You can close those apps by clicking on it and hitting the minus button. Those apps are taking up a little bit of RAM, and you can sometimes, not consistently, solve a problem or speed up your iPad by closing those apps up. More importantly, if an app freezes and it doesn't seem to access anymore, then going to the multitask bar like Book Creator and clicking the minus is important. I'm going to click the home button or the belly button again. And now I'm going to be back to my screen. If I take 5 fingers and I swipe them on the screen up, it also reveals the multitask bar on the bottom. I will show you that better in a different video when you can see my hands. If you swipe to the right, you see different screens. So some people like to put their important apps on the first screen, their second important apps over here, and miscellaneous ones in folders. These are your choices. You have multiple screens to deal with. If you go all the way to the left, you have something called Spotlight. And Spotlight will search either, not either, but it will search your iPad or the web or Wikipedia. Right? So I could type in Larry Bird right here, and it can find references to Larry Bird on the web. It can find them references in emails that I've written. Right? There's all sorts of things, or in the bottom it can search the web or it can search Wikipedia. So Spotlight is your searching mechanism, and one of the things you want to know, I'm going to click the belly button or home button, is that you can program your Spotlight so it only searches certain things. If I go back to Settings, which is the brain of the computer, and I'm clicking on General, about the 6th one down, 7th one actually, says Spotlight Search. It's right there above Auto Lock. And I can program my Spotlight Search not to look in my applications or my contacts, not to look at my music, not to look at my mail, but only to look for certain things. Okay? Click on the belly button, home button, and we're back to the screen. Hope this video has helped you, and we're on to the next one. Thanks.